Hello and welcome again to the Microlearning Institute. In this short tutorial we look at the Project Charter. The Project Charter, sometimes called the PID or the Project Initiation Document, does a number of things. Firstly, its intention is that it formally authorises a project, i.e. within the organisation a project doesn't officially exist until the project charter or the PID has been accepted and has been signed off by all of the stakeholders. Also, once the project now officially exists, the project manager now has the authority to apply organisational resources to project activities. So this means that the project manager is now authorised to schedule meetings, issue purchase orders, allocate resources to tasks and so on in order to deliver the project. Whereas prior to the existence of the project charter, this would not have been the case. Also, the project charter contains and it documents the business needs, sometimes in the forms of a feasibility study, the business needs for the project. So why is the business pursuing this project? Is it a strategic initiative? Is it cost reduction initiative? Or another regulatory or other basis for the project? What's the justification for the project? There might be some financial calculations in there and so on. And also the current understanding of the customer's requirements. And again, these customers are key stakeholders and it is important that they are involved in signing off the project charter and confirming that the project charter contains an accurate reflection of their understanding of what the project deliverables will be. So the project charter, it helps everybody to understand what exactly is being proposed by this project, what benefits can we expect after the project has been delivered, what approach is being taken to the project, particularly the technical approach, what software is being used, what equipment is being used, what technology is being used, and how the project deliverables will fit back into the ongoing organisational activities of the company. Now, let's have a look at typically the contents of a project charter. And again, this is quite a generic charter now. So firstly, the project charter will contain the project title. Again, this describes the project as completely as possible in as few words as possible. Also, we'll officially recognise the project manager here, and this will be the person with the responsibility for planning and executing the project. We also identify the project sponsor, and again the role here is to provide support for the project manager by securing resources, assisting with major issues and policy conflicts, approving scope changes, signing off major deliverables and providing the approval to proceed at each succeeding project phase. The project charter will contain details of what problem we're trying to solve, and how we're going to approach the solving of that problem. The project charter also contains some details about what the high-level deliverables of the project will be. And again, insofar as is possible, these deliverables should be characterized as SMART deliverables, i.e. they should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time-based as well. Also, the project charter will provide details about what exactly is in scope of the project and maybe even more importantly, what is outside of scope, so what scope items are not going to be tackled as part of this project. So then additionally we'll have some additional early indications of what are the expectations with regard to milestones. So again, what are the key events in the life of the project, when are they expected approximately to occur, and what should be delivered on these dates. And the end date is not an implementation date phase, but the date for closing the project after the controlling and sustaining phase. We might have some details in the project charter about the justification, so perhaps some cost-benefit analysis, some cost information, some savings, or maybe the impact the project is going to have on some key business metrics like quality metrics or throughput metrics or any other metrics that are important to the organisation. In addition to these, in the charter, we might expect some details of project assumptions. So again, is the project manager making any assumption, i.e. that we'll be able to access a particular area for a particular period of time, or that the server is compatible with some software that we're designing? Are there any fundamental assumptions on which the success of the project is based? Are there any particular constraints? Now, these constraints may apply to budget, they may apply to timeline, or they may apply to other resources on the project. So it's important that all of the stakeholders are aware of these constraints before work begins on the project. Are there any significant risks of the project? And again, following a robust risk management process, risks will have been identified and some risks will have been accepted. Other risks maybe have some mitigations in place. So again, we need to make sure that we all understand what risks we're incurring by embarking on this project. Next, what are the project resource requirements needed on the project? So again, what are the staff needed? How many engineers, how many developers, etc. Who are the key stakeholders? And again, we want to identify particularly the key players who have the authority and the responsibility, and also the power and the interest to deliver this project successfully. Finally, it's important for all the stakeholders to understand how is the project being governed. So again, what are the key governance roles? What's the role with respect to governance of the project manager, the project sponsor, the steering committee, and any other players who are involved in the governance structure of the project? So all of this information is typically contained in one document, and depending on the complexity of the project, it might be a short or a very long and comprehensive document, but it's signed off by all of the key players prior to the commencement of the project. Thank you very much for listening to this short tutorial on the project charter from the Microlearning Institute.